Disappointing loss for the Washington football team. They just lost 20-16 against the Philadelphia Eagles, fall to 6-10 on the season, and are officially eliminated from playoff contention. They had a chance at the end, but Heineke throws an interception. Debatably could have been a PI, but at the end of the day, they lost and we have to move on. So I'm going to be, recapping the game and talking about, some of the bright spots and obviously some of the negatives as well. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. Hit that like button and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Let's get right into it. Man, that one stings. We really had a chance there. Down 4, so a field goal doesn't, you have to score a touchdown, and we're at the 20 with like 30 seconds left. No timeouts because of the injury. That really hurt us there because, we were scrambling out there that whole drive, and then Heineke throws a pick to Ronnie McLeod, and it was debatable. I thought it could have been called PI, but we got lucky a couple times as well. At the end of the day, we lost the game, but it was definitely a winnable game. We are amazing in the first half, especially offensively. Great in the first half, 16 points, 4 for 4, scoring on all of our drives. In the second half, scores 0 points. Part of that is play calling, part of that is Heineke, part of that is the offensive lineman. All the way around was not a good showing by the offense in the second half at all. You look at Heineke, 27 for 36, no touchdowns, 1 interception, got sacked 3 times. I think we know what we have in Heineke at this point. I know some people still love him, still think he's a franchise guy. I don't. I think he's a high-end backup, maybe at best a low-end starter, but I don't want him here as a starter next year. At the very best, a bridge for us next year, but I still would rather go after another quarterback, preferably a veteran maybe that we can get in a trade. I know a lot of those guys are long shots, but that would be my number one choice. I mean, you see at times Heineke's great. He's amazing at avoiding sacks, but sometimes he avoids one guy. He tries to do a little bit too much and either throws an errant throw, which we got lucky, he threw a pick, but there was illegal contact, which, got us the ball back. And then, like I said, he avoids the guy. And, at that point, Heineke's got to throw it away, but he tries to do a little bit too much and, takes the sack. The offensive line was not good today at all. And I understand we're dealing with a ton of injuries, but man, Cornelius Lucas was getting beat like a drum out there every single play, especially, second through third quarter into the fourth. The offensive line, especially, like I said, Cornelius Lucas, Keith Ismail got bullied on one play, just got absolutely killed. The offensive line was not helping Taylor Heineke out at all, but he's got to understand what's in front of him, and he's got to throw it away a little bit more. And that's the thing I think is that he can improve on a lot, throwing the ball away and, scrambling a little bit more. We see the limitations sometimes, that play call, I did not like that play call, and I'm not sure if Dax Milne was the first read. If he was the first read, that's a terrible play call by Scott Turner. I want to see the angle again, because on one angle it looked like Terry was open, on the other it looked like he wasn't, but either way, didn't like the play call. The route wasn't good, wasn't run well by Milne. I mean, he was a yard short, and then it was late to Milne, and it wasn't, it was a lollipop throw. So all 3 phases there, not good. Let's get into a little bit some positives. Jarrett Patterson looked good today. 12 carries, 57 yards, averaged 4.8 yards per carry. Had 1 touchdown. I would have liked a little bit more carries for him. I mean, he got 12. I think he could have gotten, 15 plus carries. Our ground game was pretty good, averaging 4.3 yards per carry. Could have done a little bit more there. I think we went away from it a little bit too quick. It was working really well, and then we just stopped it. Heineke had 2 rushes, 1 for 10 and another for 4. I think he needs to do a little bit more, man, a little bit more, because he's got the legs. Wendell Smallwood was all right for us, got a few key first downs, and then Jonathan Williams did not really do much for us in the run game. Receiving wise, I'm happy. I'm satisfied with the way they got McLaurin involved. There was a couple, touches that, were really drawn up by Scott Turner. It was creative. I like that. The only thing is, man, there was only a couple throws that, Heineke threw that were like 13 or 14 yards downfield or more. I mean, I would love to get these guys involved a little bit more. The part of that's on Scott Turner, part of that's on Heineke. I just don't like that, most of our throws were 4 or 5 yard throws in the middle of the field, and you're relying on your guys to get yards after the catch, and we don't have most of our playmakers here. I mean, that would be fine if you have McKissick, if you have Logan Thomas, if you have Antonio Gibson, if Curtis Samuel is healthy, but you have none of those guys. Terry, though, 7 catches, 61 yards. There was one screenplay where I thought there was potential for more, but the blockers in front of him, Sheriff, wasn't quick enough to get out there. Cam Sims, 4 catches, 48 yards. It's criminal how they didn't use him much at all this season until the last few weeks, and he's every game the last few weeks he's making big plays, and he definitely should have gotten more targets, more snaps early on in the season, because he's not a number 2 receiver, but he's a good rotational receiver to have on your team. He's a good 4th or 5th guy. Right now he's the 2nd guy on our team, but he's a good 4th or 5th guy to have on a healthy and a good receiving core, which we have neither right now. So I wish they would have gotten more, I wish they would have given him some more targets early on in the season. And man, that catch would have been nice if he would have been able to come down with it at the end. But his hand was out of bounds. That would have been a tough catch, but it would have helped us out a ton because we would have gotten out of bounds. The time that we had on that drive really was an issue. I mean, we had 25-ish seconds with, at the 20 at the end of the game, but it was unfortunate that, we had an injury because that, took a timeout off the clock. Patterson, also in the receiving game, 5 receptions, 41 yards. He was pretty good, and this is against, receiving doesn't really matter, but in terms of his rushing numbers, this is against a really good defensive line at stopping the run. I mean, I don't know what Gibson's numbers were against them, but it was not good. And I think the offensive linemen, similar guys that are up there, if not worse, because Eric Flowers is out. That was a huge loss, but he had a good game. 57 yards rushing with a touchdown, along with 41 receiving yards, so almost 100 yards out there. He had a good game. One of my favorite players on this team right now, John Bates, 3 catches, 35 yards. I thought he had a really good game, and again, he needs more targets. You look at that. 3 targets, 3 catches. He's being super efficient. And Ricky Seals-Jones was, down. Hopefully he's okay. I think Ron Rivera said he was walking in the locker room during halftime or after the game. So that's good news right there. But I thought John Bates should have gotten some more targets. He had a good game. He missed 1 block, but besides that, really good game. Made a nice catch on the first possession, and then I think he had a 1-yard catch, but it really should have been -2 or -3 yards. And then he also had a catch on that last possession. He got some, yards after the catch. That was a huge play by him. Adam Humphries, Wendell Smallwood, they got 2 catches for 10 yards. So nothing much there. They didn't really involve DeAndre Carter. Scott Turner, it's just the first half was great by him. They did really well. And the second half, there was just some things he's either be too fancy or too predictable. I hated that play where it was a fake pitch to DeAndre Carter, and then they did a screen pass to, I think it was Jonathan Williams, -4 yards. That was terrible. Either way, Heineke almost got sacked. If Heineke didn't get sacked and they handed off to DeAndre Carter, he would have gotten blown up, and then they end up throwing to Williams or whoever, and he loses 4 yards. That was terrible. The 4th and 5, that wasn't a good play call, wasn't a good throw, wasn't a good route, everything there. And yeah, the offense just... They had their limitations. The offensive line was not helping us, Heineke and the offense out. I mean, Heineke was just getting killed every time out there. He's got to throw it away, but still, it's hard on him. And, he's getting some balls, his passes batted down. So he's got to improve on that, but that's on the O-line as well. So let's get to the defense. They allowed 20 points. I mean, they didn't play terrible, but not great. Cole Holcomb, great game. Probably his best game I've seen him play, or one of them at least. 11 tackles. He had some nice plays in coverage as well. He was our best player on defense today. And, he's a good piece on our defense. He's our only linebacker that I really like. And then, we'll see with Landon Collins what happens with him. I like him, but again, he's kind of a hybrid. So We'll see David Mayo, not good at all. He had one TFL there, which was a good play. It was a few other guys with him on the tackle, but he was getting juked out there. Kendall Fuller, solid game. He had a nice tackle. He was good for us. Jonathan Allen, he was all right. Again, have to watch the film, but I didn't see that dominant presence out there. But he had a couple, hits on the quarterback. I think he had more than one QB hit. But the D-line in general was not getting enough pressure, in my opinion. There was times where, Hurts had all day. He could have been, if he wanted to, he could have been there for 10 seconds on a couple plays. Corn Elder, okay. I mean, again, we have like practice squad guys out here as our corners because William Jackson's out, Benjamin St. Juste is out. He made a nice play on Devontae Smith, though. Bob McCain was okay. I mean, our defense, again, okay. Deron Payne didn't do much. Matt Ioannidis had a nice play. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Jamin Davis had his first sack. And he had a couple nice rushes. He had a couple nice rushes in this game. It was very, very concerning, though. They were playing David Mayo, who is not good at all, was playing terrible. They were playing David Mayo over Jamin Davis pretty much the whole first half, and they said it's because David Mayo is a true middle linebacker. Like he's, that's the only thing he plays, middle linebacker. Jamin Davis, they don't think he's a middle linebacker anymore. So, but still, I mean, that's still concerning. But, Jamin Davis had a few nice plays out there. Didn't get out there too much, but he had that sack. He had another rush where he got some, pressure out there as well. One thing I forgot to say, I just saw De'Ami Brown's name on the tackle list, so I just want to go back. De'Ami Brown had a nice catch today. Let's see, one catch for 25 yards. So back-to-back games with some big catches for De'Ami Brown. So I really hope they can next week. Like, I love Adam Humphries. He's made some big plays for us this year, but I would not mind if he's inactive next week. Bring up, get some of those targets to De'Ami Brown. Same thing with, guess Dax Milne a little bit more involved, although he was not good today. And just get those younger guys more involved. John Bates, Jarrett Patterson, Cam Simpson isn't super young, but still get them some more, targets. But that's what next week should be about giving these young guys some opportunities so you can evaluate them further because it's the last game of the season. And then you look at, we didn't force any turnovers. You got to do that. DeAndre Carter was okay. He had one nice return on the opening kickoff, and then after that had a poor return up to the 20. He's a good kick returner, though. He's one of the better kick returners in the NFL, although I don't think he's a good punt returner, though. Joey Sly, I think we found ourselves our kicker. 3 for 3, 55-yard field goal. I think he's 9 for 9 on the year for us, so that's great for him. Ryan Winslow only had to punt 2 times. Had one 46-yarder. The other one was not great at a 38-yarder. Obviously, special teams are not the reason we lost this game. Our, defense gave up 2 4th and 1 at the 1 conversions, which led to touchdowns, and then our offense scoring 0 points in the second half. That's, that you can't win with that. You can't win with that no matter what you put up in the first half. So combination of the two, but obviously it's a little bit more on the offense with how they finished off in the second half. The defense wasn't great, but they came up with some big stops at times, and they were okay. The offense, though, that's a different story. We'll have a Scott Turner discussion another day. Was not impressed with him at all in the second half. And, another season not making the playoffs, 6-10. We'll see if we can win next week against the Giants. I mean, it's going to hurt our draft pick or draft order, but I'm never rooting for us to lose, really. And, at the end of the day, though, injuries suck, but we can't bring up these excuses every single year. At the end of the day, you just got to win, and we're not doing that. So let's hope, we're able to do things this offseason, get this team better. But at the end of the day, you got to get your franchise quarterback. Without that, you're really not going to be able to do much. You're going to make the playoffs occasionally, every once or, every 2 or 3 years. But if you want to sustain success in the National Football League, you need a quarterback. And we do not have a franchise quarterback on this roster. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. And peace, guys.